Supreme Court's July 11, 2024 judgment includes far-reaching decisions that will significantly alter local government administration in the country. The Supreme Court has affirmed the financial autonomy of Nigeria's 774 local governments. In a unanimous judgment of its 7-member panel on July 11, the Supreme Court unanimously upheld the suit brought by the federal government to strengthen the independence of local governments in the country. A member of the panel, Justice Emmanuel Agim, who delivered the court's lead judgment, held that the local governments across the country should, from July 11, receive their allocations directly from the Accountant General of the Federation. He ruled that it is illegal and unconstitutional for governors to receive and withhold funds allocated to local government areas in their states. He ordered immediate enforcement and compliance with the orders of the court by state governments and successive governments henceforth. Today we will be discussing an important part of this judgment, and that is the local government tenure elongation by the Supreme Court. The judgment partly reads, under Section 135, subsection 3 of the Constitution, the tenure of 4 years for the President provided for by Section 135, subsection 2 thereof, shall be extended for periods not exceeding a period of 6 months at any time. By a resolution of the National Assembly, if it is not practicable to hold elections. By the same token, by a law of a State House of Assembly, the tenure of local government councils can be legally extended for any reason such as insecurity or war if it becomes impracticable or impossible for elections into the local government councils to be conducted. The mandate given to an elected local government council is the mandate of the electorate of that local government area. And if the tenure is extended, it is the people's mandate that is extended. If the tenure of a local government council is truncated, as it is the norm now, it is an illegal termination of the electorate's mandate, and it is not to be encouraged but roundly condemned. Nze, what do you think of this tenure elongation judgment by Supreme Court?
You know that when Martin Samuel the embattled former Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly and his cohorts elongated the tenure of the local government in Rivers State, there was this public outcry that they were doing illegal thing. Now, a time came that while they were trying to interpret this same law you just read now and trying to give it a backing, the tenure of the then local government chairman expired and the governor appointed caretaker committee. You read previously that where it is impracticable to conduct election, the tenure of the existing local government chairman could be extended for 6 months. But in this case, this other group, the Fubara governor, Fubara's group, says no. It is not known by law. Now, he appointed caretaker committee because power does not exist in a vacuum. Now, and that caretaker committee is running. Now, look at by this, you just expose the eyes of the common man to the fact that what Amwehule and his people did was legal. But why is it that the people who know the law, who claim to know the law, could not bring up this matter? You see that we Nigerians, the masses, were in trouble in this country because there was this thing they used to do when we were small, that they will cover your eye and they will hide something and ask you to find it and you are busy. That is what is happening to Nigerians. To the people I represent, because I believe that as a priest, I represent the masses before God and represent God before the masses. Now look at the problem there. We don't know this law. We don't even read the Constitution of Nigeria. I mean, page to page, to know the contents therein. And these people when they want to act in one way or the other, they go search it out in the constitution and act. Why the masses or the people are struggling with issue of they are defending, the other group will go search out something else and apply, creating confusion and chaos. In as much as I do not believe in the trouble Martin Amaewhule, Honorable Martin Amaewhule and his cause are given to Rivers State government, but I know that both the judgment, the law we read now in section 135, subsection 3 or 2, the law we read now, and the judgment the Supreme Court gave about local government autonomy, I see all those things as a battle of the titans. Because majority of the people around this part of the world believed that this local government autonomy were prepared or was prepared to hit the present governor of Rivers State.
Was prepared by the Attorney General of the Federation?
No. Remember, Attorney General of the Federation.
Within Rivers State House of Assembly?
No, Rivers political strongman. Rivers political strongman that is now in the federal. That is influencing most of the things that is happening now, which we know. It is true that sometimes some media houses and all that try to avoid that area because they say they cannot substantiate it. We don't say what we can substantiate. We say what we know and what we feel.
But you have to substantiate it. Yes,
that is when you, if you manage to take me to court, then I will seek for the help of the legal luminaries to help me and defend that. But the truth is that we believe that the Minister of FCT is influencing most of these things. And they thought that they would have succeeded in the tenure elongation. Now, and by the time the local government autonomy comes, you now see that the governor is completely handicapped. So he will
how is the governor?
He will be handicapped because he can't even talk to the local government chairman, because we saw it here in this state. At a point where a local government chairman will look at the governor and say, I dare you, if they burn you well. It means there is something giving that person the tone that he's dancing right there in the bush. And if that issue had succeeded with the local government autonomy and the elongation of local government tenure, you now see that these superheroes, political superheroes in error, as I will always address them, political superheroes in error, you see that they would have launched a heavy fight against the governor and stifle him and throw him by the wayside. So now I come to say the truth. Since we have seen in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended 1999 that it is in the law, it means Amaewhule should not be crucified, because to me, I don't hate any of them. I only hate their actions. And where your actions lies with the need of the masses, I applaud you. And where your action lies in a variance with the need of the masses, I will condemn, I will shout, I will talk. So for that to local government elongation, I applaud the erstwhile Speaker of the Rivers State House.
Why do you call him erstwhile Speaker?
He's no longer there now.
By whose judgment?
It is true that judiciary, as I said, in this present administration, have been bought over by politicians. So the judiciary is now corrupt. You see that one judge will give one judgment, another judge will give a contradicting judgment. Is
there a judgment?
So there was a judgment that, yes.
Is there a judgment now that has made Martin Amaewhule, or that has declared them not to be speakers of the House?
Yes.
What judgment?
Now look at it. When Honorable Edison here took over, who was the House leader then, when he took over office as the Speaker, he declared their seat vacant. And according to I'm not a lawyer, and I cannot in any way claim to stand for the law. I stand for the masses.
You're saying that they declared their seats vacant? Yes,
the Speaker, a certain sitting Speaker that was approved by the judge, by court, declared their seat vacant.
Do you recall the justice or the court that?
No, I don't have that time. The reason is this. If I know that the opposition will be coming from that time, I would have prepared for that. But I'm saying this, and it is in the very palm of every Rivers person who know all this. But what I'm saying in essence is that Amaewhule didn't act illegally following this constitution backing. by extending the tenure.
If you say he didn't act legally, as at the time he extended...
I mean by the extension. But at the time he extended, that time he was acting illegally.
Are you aware that there is a judgment that recognized Martin Same?
Yes, Abuja court, not Rivers, not a court in Rivers State.
Now, this is the... Are you aware, again, of the prayers of the appeal court, or the prayers that was made to the appeal court, or let me rephrase it. Are you aware of the appeal court judgment?
The latest appeal court judgment?
Yes.
To an extent.
You took it
yes.
to an extent.
Why I say to an extent is as not a lawyer, and beginning to quote them word by word. Yes, I followed the judgment. I saw everything that happened.
Are you aware that the appeal court said that the State High Court does not have jurisdiction to entertain matters relating to the Rivers State House of Assembly and even the governor as well?
Remember that the appeal court has said that by a judge. And the Supreme Court will interpret it. Because I believe that this matter had gone to Supreme Court.
The governor has appealed to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Now.
Because as at the time the court in Rivers State, as at the time the governor or whoever took the matter to court in Rivers State, they believed that the State High Court has jurisdiction over the matter.
Well,
they believe.
From the judgment of the
appeal court now said, yes, no, you don't have the jurisdiction, and they have gone to Supreme Court. So Supreme Court will now help the two.
From the judgment of the appeal court, it is clear that the State High Court does not have jurisdiction to even entertain the matter. And if you recall, another state High Court also recused itself from entertaining the matter, and that is the court by Justice Bassam. He is a justice in Rivers State High Court.
Yeah.
The matter was brought to him, he recused himself and said he denied jurisdiction and said he doesn't have jurisdiction to entertain this matter, and declined entertaining that matter. Now, Justice Danagogo that declared the disney was of the Rivers State High Court, was of the State High Court. Justice Wale was also of the State High Court. And
Justice Bassam is of which High Court?
State High Court as well.
The three judges.
Hold on.
Okay.
Justice Kyo as well, that even entertained the issue of the local government law number 5, was also of the Rivers State High Court. Now, appeal court has said in matters concerning the legislature, the state arm of government, the state legislative arm, and the governor, the State High Courts do not have jurisdiction over that. They can't hear the matter. So by the reason of that particular judgment, the appeal court even went further to annul the judgments of Justice Wale, his orders, and his judgments. What was part of the judgment of orders of Justice Wale was declaring Okojombo speaker. And that was why Okojombo, from the first to the third respondents, could not appeal. It was the governor that had to appeal to Supreme Court. But these are legal issues, so we don't complicate. I had to bring it up because you said S-while, the S-while Speaker of the House. And it's also very important to know that there is a judgment that recognized Martin, so we don't miss it.
Before we exit from here.
No, we'll still come back to it, but he has to speak because I allowed you to speak so that you can actually say all you have to, because I'll give him equal time.
Yeah, you will.
But
before he comes up, there's a point. There's a point I want to raise.
When he's done, you can also talk. But I'll still come back to you.
No problem.
Yes,
no
I think
problem.
it should be fair. So,
it's all right.
Jackson, you have equal time to say
everything you want to say.
As much as he has. He has a lot to say, actually. Go on, sir.
So, your question now.
Yes. Your question is with regards to the local government tenure elongation by Supreme Court.
And he has already narrowed it down to Rivers State right now. Okay, we are not talking about the autonomous.
The local government autonomy, of course.
Autonomy.
There are so many, the
funding and every other thing.
We are not talking about the funding.
Why?
You want to talk about the funding?
Yeah.
All right.
There is a Yoruba,
the judgment has
there is a Yoruba proverb. They said, "Olegbe, Olegba." That means thief carry it. Where he kept it, another thief pick it from there.
Okay.
Yes, sir. The financial autonomy is not real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
But you still come down.
That is why.
But I would need you to also
I'm coming to tenure elongation. That is real. So it's like state governors now are enjoying that illegal booties.
Okay.
No, federal government too has open eyes now that these governors cannot be enjoying this. Federal government will be enjoying it. You pay it straight to the account of the state. The governors give whatever he likes to the local government chairman, in his place, and at the end of the day, they even instruct them, just pay salary and give this party leader this, the other leader that, the market women this, and others. Now, it is time now that somebody look at it and say, no, these governors alone cannot be enjoying this with all the fat allocation they are getting now as a result of ill-fitted fuel subsidy remover. You understand? Now, federal government too have derived a method now to be collecting their own directly. Because now, when the federal government will call the local government chairman come and collect your allocation, there is every possibility and say you are going to sign 100 million. But for this and that you collect 70. So the way you like, go and spend the 70. So what the governors were taking before, now is federal that will be taking it now. And that is why you see now is federal government versus state governors. They are not, the two of them are not fighting for the interest of the people at the local government.
Good. That's it.
They are fighting for the interest, their own personal interest. The governors are eating too much. No, so now they have taken them to court. So it's the federal agencies that will be in charge of that payment now that will be collecting it. That is that. So let them continue to fight. Their fight, what join them together is what will separate them. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Now, the implication of this tenure elongation. Now, there is every possibility now that the justices of the Supreme Court that made this pronounce it because they know that their pronouncement is not just ruling, it's a policy.
A law.
It become a law. At the end of the day, there's a particular area that in a critical period that election cannot be conducted, the state
House of Assembly,
House of Assembly can make a law to extend the tenure
by 6 months.
By 6 months. By implication, Martins Amewule and his co-travelers, what they did is effective now. And if this matter go and get to the Supreme Court, after all, the caretaker committee in the local government now is an aberration of the law. The Supreme Court can never reverse themselves. So at the end of the day, you will discover that that extension, event has not overtaken it. That extension will be valid. Okay,
if I understand what you're saying,
yes,
you're saying that the local government tenure elongation,
yes,
law enacted by Martin Amewule,
yes,
that events have not overtaken it.
No,
it is still valid
because it's valid now by the pronouncement of the Supreme Court.
The pronouncement of Supreme Court has given it more validity and life.
So if they take it, this matter now up to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court cannot reverse itself. So before you know what is happening, and what we have now is not an elected local government officers. They are appointed or selected, whichever way you want to call it. So at the end of the day, we might get to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court may revalidate that law made by Amewule and his co-travelers. That is one. But the major implication is this. Hope they are not doing this thing, that a time is coming. A state governor will create an environment whereby election cannot be held in the state as a reason of security, insecurity. and they will extend his tenure.
Okay.
By 6 months.
Any of the state governor.
Any of the state governor. 2, will there be a time, because in the time past, they shifted the election. You understand? But the president was still there. Will a time not come that there will be crisis across the country, human-made crisis? Quote me. Will there not be a time that there will be human-made crisis and there won't be room for any election to take place in Nigeria, and they will extend the tenure of the president by 6 months? Hope you are not envisaging that. So to me, the Chief Justice that will be buying out any moment from now, that Yoruba man, a Yoruba lady by order of seniority will be taken over too. Hope they are not preparing this thing.
The law has always been there. The Supreme Court merely interpreted it.
Good. This interpretation has renewed the law now. And the whole world now know, because I didn't know before. So as it affects local government now, I hope it will not affect state one day, and at the federal level, when the tenure of Mr. President will be shifted for the next 2 years, because there is crisis and election cannot hold, and there shall be no vacuum.
All right.
I'm afraid.
Well, I also want to ask you a question, because you mentioned that time has not overtaken the judgment, the local government law number 5 enacted by
the guys are still in court.
Now, if you recall, when Supreme Court also gave its judgment, it said that the judgment is to be implemented with immediate effect. Now, one would wonder, I need clarification on that, because I mean a lot of confusion is coming up.
I mean, I'm not a legal luminary.
Not legally.
I'm a legal illiterate.
All right.
Yes.
Now, politically speaking.
Yes.
If the Supreme Court has said implement immediately, now, according to you, the law as enacted by Martin Samehule is very much valid.
Yes.
Now, this law was enacted when these outcome chairmen were still on seats. That was before their tenure even expired. If you recall, there were calls, for RISEC to announce dates for elections. There were agitations around quarters, asking the governor to fund the RISEC. Now, some persons also said that the local government elections, the budget was not in the appropriation bill that was present, that the governor presented to Edison here, if you recall. Then there were conversations around it, that how can the governor fund the RISEC when it's not even captured in the budget? Then other persons were saying it is not possible to hold elections because Rivers State at that point was heated up, and if elections happen, it might turn very bloody. And that is the job of the governor to first of all protect lives and properties. Now, Martin Samehule has extended the tenure, having seen that elections may not hold. And at the end of the day, this local government chairman could not stay, and the governor appointed caretaker. If the Supreme Court has said implement immediately, and the Rivers State law was passed during the lifetime of this local government chairman, what will happen now? If you said the law is still, it's not been overtaken by time and events.
I listen to your analysis now, better than you that analyze it.
Very well. Then take it over.
Good. What the Supreme Court has just done now is to corroborate
Martin Samehule.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that particular period, there was no fund. The RISEC in Rivers State were not empowered. And that was the reason why there was no local government election. And what did the Supreme Court say? The Supreme Court said under any circumstances where there cannot be election,
impracticable or impossible.
it's impossible to conduct election. The tenure can be shifted to 6 months. And I mean, we have
extended it by 6 months.
Yes. So he did well. Because why didn't the governor funded the RISEC? There was no fund. So there was no election. And the Supreme Court is saying if there's any reason at all that will not make election possible, the tenure can be shifted because there shall be no vacuum. Not even caretaker committee that could even form the vacuum because they are not even recognized. So today in Rivers State, in the eye of the law, there is no local government chairman, there are no councillors.
Now the question would be, this caretaker committees that
it's an aberration of the law. It's an illegal. It's an illegal.
All right.
Position that some people are holding.
Okay.
Because federal government will not recognize them, there won't be any takeover allocation from the federal government.
Can I ask?
And who is losing during this period?
If I may ask,
it's Rivers people that are losing.
If I may ask,
yes.
If I may ask you, Lekon Joe, if you say that the council chairman, they are an aberration, of course the Supreme Court has already given its judgment, given that they are still flaunting themselves as caretaker chairman and the governor has not, fallen in line with the Supreme Court judgment, can that be considered a constitutional infraction? Is it gross misconduct by the executive?
I won't say it's a gross misconduct by the executive. There is a clause.
All right.
In case if there is any governor that uses caretaker, you understand, federal government will not recognize such caretaker government, local government administration in that period under a caretaker chairman.
Okay.
So therefore, no allocation will be given.
So how will this caretaker committee, how will be this caretaker chairman now be running local governments without?
Sometimes ago, when the present president was the governor of Lagos State, it happened. He created 37 local council authority development areas, and the president that time, President Olusegun Obasanjo, just stopped the allocation from going to Lagos. Even at the Supreme Court, the Lagos State governor that time, who is the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, won that case at the Supreme Court. But then, because of the military blood in the former president, he still refused to obey the order of the Supreme Court that time. So what I'm saying is this: we have something like this in my home state, Osun State. But the second day of that pronouncement of the Supreme Court, the governor dissolved all of them.
That's the question I'm asking. In Rivers State, it appears to be different. This
and maybe the governor, Rivers State is a very rich and wealthy state. Maybe the governor will look for money from another place. But at the end of the day, it will be amounted to misappropriation of fund.
Okay.
If the governor raised money to sponsor the local government are supposed to be getting their own allocation directly, but he decided not to because of his CTC, or what do they call them? You understand? So at the end of the day, who is losing? The people of Rivers State, we are the people losing. Because no cover will come from the federal now. And these people, and you see them donating cars, donating.
So where are they getting the funds to do all that?
They are not getting it from Jackson Lake Ojo, they are getting it from Simfubara. They are getting it from Simfubara. Because at the particular time I sat down and said, could these people be bringing money from their pockets to be buying cars, empowering people, this and that? And the governor told them clearly that you have to empower your people, the people of your local government. Where are they getting the money from? They are getting the money from the money that are not be appropriated by any, even not by Okojombo's three-man members of House of Assembly. So the governor is getting the money from another place. It's a misappropriation of fund.